But the coin that I added to the portfolio today is called vEmpire.
And they are the largest decentralized metaverse investment organization in the world.
Hello, everybody, and what a lovely day it is. Let you kick off, and I'll do some button tapping in the background. You know what comes after Ruby and Qcoin? When Binance. If I'm not mistaken, our intro has slightly changed. I saw that at the very end, the like and subscribe and the new thing. So you snuck that in without me noticing, Harvey. Or maybe that's been for ages and I just have been completely void of looking for so long. But we got a really interesting guest and protocol with us today. We got Dennis from Satoshi Island, who's the head of operations. So he is out there right now in, hopefully I pronounced right, Vanuatu, I believe. Well, got land there now, so better get learning. So we've purchased 23 NFTs. 10 NFTs get you one parcel of land, real IRL, in real life land in Vanuatu on Satoshi Island. So we got 2 of those. We also got some token allocation. So one of our most interesting and exciting investments that we've made in the past couple of months, definitely. So very excited to learn a bit more. If we could bring our guest out. There we are.
Good morning.
Good morning. And have we got a beautiful view behind you? How is it? Is it a little bit cloudy or we got some blue sky?
Look, it's super early in the morning, so it usually starts up with a nice sunrise. And I think behind me, we already had some pink skies just a little bit earlier. It's 6 a.m. right now. Sun rises about 5:40-ish. So we just missed it, but that's okay. And I was just listening to you earlier and you got it spot on. It is Vanuatu. So yeah, great job.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for joining us. And yeah, like I was saying in the intro there, it's definitely one of our most exciting investments. And I was on a YouTube show myself the other day, and they'd seen on our Twitter that we'd invested, and they were really keen to learn more. But for those of our guests who don't even know where Vanuatu is, because I personally had never heard of it until sort of I met you guys through Tencent. So yeah, we'd love an intro of your background and the location.
Yeah, so Vanuatu is in the South Pacific. It's not too far from Australia, which is where I'm from. I'm from Sydney, currently living in Vanuatu, of course, completely dedicated to the project. And it's just not too far away from Fiji as well. I think Fiji is a little bit more known amongst the community. It's a more sort of tourist-friendly destination just because it's more out there, a little bit more marketing happens to it. I think a lot of Fiji is influenced by Australia. And obviously, you know, they tried to, the airline as well is owned by Qantas, which is an Australian airline. So Fiji is more known for you, for your travels and for your direct flights to there for your holiday, needs. Vanuatu is trying to stay as independent as possible in terms of influences. Obviously, Australia is trying to very hard. China is trying very hard, but they are standing strong. They really love that their independence and trying to do things on their own. And that's why for us as a project, it was a no-brainer to go to Vanuatu and try to create something like this, because they were quite open and it was somewhat more reasonable to reach out to the government and have a discussion about exactly what we're trying to achieve. Yeah, we managed to do that. And as you know, we have an endorsement from the Prime Minister. We have an endorsement from the Minister of Finance. So everyone's always watching the blockchain technology. They're watching digital currency and what they're doing in the world and within the communities. And I think it's just a reflection to the fact that they are looking forward to creating the same or similar sort of systems within their own economies, to improve their systems, and I think in a way our project is almost like a blueprint, like a beta version of how things could be run in other nations, within communities, within societies, municipalities, wherever it may be. But we're definitely pioneering it. We're definitely the first, and congratulations on your purchase of block of land. And let's see what happens. At the end of the day, this is a little bit of a cliche, but we really are in this together. Because we are just a vehicle for you guys, for you land holders and owners. We set out this great plan, obviously thoroughly made sure that all the, as they say, all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. And now that we're ready for the next phase, which is the important phase of development, it's up to you to drive it, and we're just a vehicle provided for you to be able to do that.
Good stuff. I want to get some pods onto the land as soon as possible. Everyone's asking me for holidays already. I think we're going to open it up and give away some time and accommodation to the DAO as well. I don't think we'll cover flights just yet. Actually, it depends where they're coming from. If it's very close, then maybe we can work something out. But then everyone will want it. We'll cover that close to the time.
You'll be. So I think with time, everything is gonna it's gonna. At the moment, you still have this sort of hangover from COVID. A lot of the airlines are slowly coming back. The flights are definitely getting more and more frequent to Vanuatu. Before it used to be pretty straightforward. Before you used to be able to get here from the East Coast, US, Canada, lots of flights from Australia, Singapore, China. Lots of internal flights within South Pacific. So it could be absolutely perfect timing for us. We're planning to have the delivery of modules available sort of first half of next year. Let's see how things goes, but that's the plan. And that could be complete perfect timing as far as the country recovering from this hangover that is COVID.
Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've always wondered. I mean, it's island nations, isn't it? Is it the Philippines or is it Indonesia that has like the most islands in the world? But anyway, sort of out in the Pacific, there must be so many different. Is Vanuatu itself is a larger collection of islands? Is it? I don't know the geography, and Satoshi Island is just one of those many islands. Is that how it's sort of the geography is made up?
Yeah, like you mentioned, very similar to Philippines. There's provinces. You've got bigger islands. Some of the more known ones are Tana, Etafe, and Santo. Espiritu Santo is where Satoshi Island is located. Etafe is more of your capital, where Port Vila is. That's your sort of main destination, main international airport. And Espiritu Santo has its own airport, international airport as well. So many bigger islands. And obviously lots of little small isles spread out all over the place. And, generally what happens is in Vanuatu, the land belongs to the people. So it's a great way of people to continue, the local, indigenous people to continue to benefit from their own land. And what happens is you get a leasehold of 75 years. This is what Satoshi Island has, a leasehold of 75 years. And you negotiate that and you create a contract with the custom owners, and obviously it's an ongoing situation where after 75 years it just gets renewed for an extra 75 years, et cetera, something that obviously our community doesn't have to worry about. Our company has a great relationship with the custom owners. They're extremely excited about the future prospects, the fact that their family is going to be looked after for the generations to come. And Satoshi Island, which is originally known as Latara Island, that's the original custom name, and it's a very important name. And our community is going to be known as Satoshi Island, but Latara Island, the custom name, is still going to be around. It's very important for them and for us to keep the history, to understand exactly how, where things came from. Latara Island was privately owned before we got intervened, so it was already, sort of had the commercial sort of vibes to it. It was actually used more as a home, not a commercial initially, but it was very easy to us to obviously approach because it was already for sale. The person who was owning it prior was moving on to other journeys. So when we started putting together our plans of finding a piece of land, we weren't really in the beginning focused on finding an island as such. It was more about doing a piece of land and obviously doing the same kind of planning as far as dividing the land into blocks of land, creating them into NFTs, and then creating some sort of access pass, which we now call citizenship NFT. But yeah, we just happened to find this private island for sale, and reached out and did all the negotiations. And at the same time, parallel, we were discussing things with the local governing bodies to make sure that they're aware exactly what we're trying to achieve, and to also make sure that we're actually able to achieve it. Because I think I suppose with any project, the planning and the execution is probably the most important things before anything else. So this is why it took us a good 4 years before we came out with any information publicly.
Fair enough. So that's been 4 years. Is that how? Is that when you guys started? Because I knew Jonas from Tencent, which is how I got put in touch with you. How did this all actually begin to sort of where it is now? Did you have you known sort of Tencent for a while, or did you just come to them as a launchpad, or how did you first get into crypto and eventually onto this?
So my original exposure was to Bitcoin, and it was around 2013, 14. I was working in hospitality, and I was running a cafe, and some guy came up to me and asked if we accept Bitcoin as payments. And obviously, I had no idea what it was all about, but super curious. So my first exposure was back then, but not until sort of 2017 is when I really started paying attention. Obviously, due to the just prior to the bull run, but also just in general, just the systems and technologies. I was always paying attention to what was going on in space, and just its growth and its potential really intrigued my curiosity. So I dove really deep around the sort of 2016 mark, and the first thing I did was involve myself in some chat groups and channels and things of that nature, just to learn and try to absorb as much information as possible. I just made a lot of very now good friends, through those chats and through those systems. A lot of them were the OGs, involved from the very beginning, were very passionate about helping the mass adoption of space, and obviously looking at some great systems and DeFi protocols and things of that nature. There was a lot of learning. And one thing that we also always sort of used to get stuck on was, how do we sort of get together outside this online world? How do we in real life get together? Because at that stage, even now, Australia is not the biggest market when it comes to crypto, although it's growing rapidly, and there's some great projects coming out of that region. But really, everyone was just spread all over the place. You could, the time zones were all skewed up. You had to have multiple apps to make sure that you know exactly what time of the day it is for everybody and things like that. So we used to almost joke about, wouldn't it be nice to just have a place of our own, almost like a clubhouse? And then that joke became into, well, why don't we have our own city? Why don't we build our own city where crypto is accepted as payment, where it's run on digital economy, where the governance is going to be fair and transparent. So it started like that. It started with an idea, as anything else does. And because, I guess, because of the strength of that group and the nature of that group, which was about education, mass adoption, and promotion of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology to the world, there was a lot of interest, and there was a lot of individuals who are obviously OGs and have been in space, have done good things, came out with this plan, I suppose, of how it could actually happen, without just dreaming about it, without it just being a pipe dream, what it is required to achieve this mission. I was just fortunate enough to be invited into that exclusive group of people, and we took it from there. And once we started putting down the plan, the master plan, the grand plan, and started obviously contacting and reaching out to all the parties that we would require to make this happen, such as James Law, the architect, or Daniel, who's been in Vanuatu and doing business in Vanuatu for many, many years, so very familiar with logistics and systems and things of that nature, and everything else. And I just happened to land the role of head of operations, which essentially means that, my job was to put things together. And now it's more so almost like a project manager, if you like, where, now that I am on the island and I'm close by, I'm a neighbor, I essentially made it my home now, Vanuatu and Satoshi Island. I'm going to be in charge of making things happen on the ground. That includes, managing and coordinating with all the laborers that are going to come and prepare the land for the installation of the modules. Also, we're going to be running it as a resort in the time being, so perfect opportunity for you, Dom, if you want to have that little holiday. So I'll be in charge. You'll be seeing my friendly face hosting the Satoshi Island resort for the time being as the development is unwrapping. And it's I assume I skipped a lot of the hard work, but I think it's a little bit boring. It was a lot of grind. It was a lot of communications, meetings, grinding. And what happened was, so towards the end, we kind of, not as everyone can imagine, it's not a small project. There's a lot involved. So everything had to be done precisely, accurately. Although we have an element of freedom and decentralization, it was still important to do it within the law, especially within the legal system, especially the fact that we are selling real blocks of land, we are selling real estate. It was difficult to position ourselves within any of the sort of industries. And what I mean by that is we weren't really just crypto project. We weren't really just an NFT project. And we weren't really a real estate project. So we were kind of like a combination of all these three things. And in the beginning, we came out, and I think a lot of our community were almost like programmed into this NFT space, into this NFT world. So they didn't really understand the bigger picture, the bigger vision of the fact that this is a tangible asset backed by real estate. It's not just a membership or a art or whatever else the JPEGs and NFTs done at that time. But what happened was, obviously, as you know, we had a shitstorm of things happen in the world, and our industry has sort of suffered, and the whole world has suffered. And a lot of our community, a large percentage of our community, unfortunately, just sort of disappeared. And what I mean by that, because of their focus was primarily NFT space and not the combination of crypto and NFT space, they kind of all got obviously wrecked, as a lot of us did during that time. And we found ourselves at the crossroads. We found ourselves at the crossroads of, do we put this on ice and come back to it later when things a little bit better and recover, or do we keep on going? And if we do keep on going, how do we do it? And this is what Tencent, actually at that stage, we're already discussing things with Tencent, more about them, getting a block of land and really, like more about them building it as opposed to a proper development partnerships. But they did come out, and what happened was they showed so much passion and so much interest for the project that it was an absolute no-brainer for us to partner up with them, because they were honestly as passionate, if not more passionate than us, about this project. And because we've been on this journey for such a long time, it was nice to see this fresh approach, especially that a majority of our community is sort of like we're hurting from all the drop in value of their assets. Tencent came out and said, hey, we love the project, we love what you guys are doing, let's do something together. We're more than happy to put you guys on the pedestal, promote, excuse my language, the shit out of you, and let's see what happens. Let's give it another shot, kind of thing, And we thought, why not? Absolutely. I mean, it sounds amazing. You guys are excited. We're excited. We've always been excited about the project, but we were just strategizing what's next. At that stage, we weren't sure. The market wasn't doing well. We need a fair bit of capital, as you can imagine, to build a city. It's not a simple task. So that's how the relationship was born, and that's how we got introduced, and we got a little bit of a world fame through Tencent promotions and marketing. We didn't do any marketing ourselves. We had a lot of great organic reach within mainstream media, But after that sort of a crash, we're sort of taking a back step into trying to figure out other things. But Tencent came out and became that marketing development partner for us, and they did a great job. And we did have to slightly change some of our rules and planning as far as the token is concerned. So now we've released our token a bit earlier than usual, and but then everything else worked out quite well because all the land was snapped up very, very quick, and now everyone's slowly collecting those elusive 10 NFTs for a full ownership of a block of land.
As included, well, we got an odd number just because of the way it worked out. So we got 3 spare. So either got to up it to 7 or shift it.
Exactly.
You mentioned sort of OGs, and I saw that when you guys listed on OKX that they have some land. Are there any famous faces, people, companies apart from OKX and vEmpire, of course, who've got some land that you can reveal?
Yeah, there's a lot of interest, and there's definitely some really cool projects that are either still in discussions or already committed themselves to building some sort of presence on the island. A lot of interest comes via having almost like a company retreat or a satellite office or a clubhouse. I would say the most sort of famous one that everyone would really get excited about is vEmpire. I think everyone's really looking forward to being their neighbor, whether they're going to have a nice office next door to them or a clubhouse. Of course, it might be a little bit noisy, so you might have to have some extra soundproofing in your module if you are their neighbor. But let's see what happens. Look, we have, I think people who are already committed. Gojira showed a lot of interest from almost the very beginning for the same sort of reason. They're still not quite sure exactly what they want to do, but it seems like it's going to be like a clubhouse for their members, for their Genesis members, things like that. So they were very excited, and they're definitely snapping up some extra land. I believe their eyes have been on the project from very beginning, and I think they're super keen to come and visit the island as well, which is going to be like a icing on the cake. Party Degenerates have been in support from very beginning, and they're like an IRL party project where if you have one of their NFTs, you essentially get access to this super awesome clubs and things of that nature all over the world. And they're actually going to be running all the entertainment on the island. So they're actually opening a couple of nightclubs or a couple of beach clubs on the island. So entertainment is sorted. Sid Phrase, who is a famous sort of crypto OG from Australia, who is known for his seven trade punk, which he refuses to sell. He's been offered $100 million for it, and he doesn't refuses it. He thinks it's part of his identity, which I think we all can relate to. I think some of our assets, some of our NFTs, if anyone offered any kind of money, we're like, I don't know, I just don't want to. So he's looking at building a house here, obviously close by to Australia. We've got Neo Tokyo, so everyone knows Elio Trades and Alex Becker, so they showed interest and they love doing something for their community there as well. We've got a couple of other lower tier sort of projects who showed interest, which is it shows exactly what the project is all about. It's not for your only those who can sort of afford it, so to speak. But that's the entire reason behind us fractionalizing a block of land into 10 pieces to make sure it's more affordable for a broader community. So yeah, that's that for now. But we are slowly announcing everybody as they're coming out to us and saying, hey, this is our plan. Feel free to market to your community and let everyone know that we're coming. So those names are that list of those names is just going to increase more and more. And let's see what the potential of your neighbors are.
Good stuff. And I'm wondering, because obviously all of these different companies, and it seems to be that it's very much a protocol or business level that's sort of purchasing and building for their wider communities. So it will very much be like a web sort of going out in terms of accessibility for everyone. Do you have like, maybe I should know this, but do you have like a Discord where we as vEmpire can actually like meet all of these people, or eventually collaborate and see when people will be on the island, etc.? Is that coming, or is that already available?
There's a couple of answers to that. Firstly, yes, of course, discord.gg/Satoshi Island is your main Satoshi Island community. And over there, we have roles that we have given to people who either already qualified for the citizenship NFT, which is your main access pass, as well as other roles, and lots of channels. So lots of channels of information of exactly what's happening, all the news and updates. So very important to jump on our Discord to be up to speed with all the information. But the second sort of part to that question is, what's going to have to happen is because of, like you said, you've got your 10 NFTs, your full block of land, so you have nothing to worry about. You or your DAO or your entire community can come together and decide, or if it's a personal purchase, decide exactly what's going to happen to this block of land, whether you're going to build a house, rent the house out, or whether you're going to go visit the island X amount of times a year, or whether you're going to go and live there permanently, right? So there's all these options. But what happens if you only have 3 or 4 or any other fraction of that block of land? So this is where the other part of the answer comes from. So right now it's not there, it is in development. But what's going to happen once the dust settles and once all the land changes hands and everyone finds themselves with 10 land deeds, or everyone finds themselves with, as many as they are able to collect during this development phase of the project, we will put them all together into a chat system based on the areas that they purchased of the island, and they'll be able to have a conversation and a dialogue with other fractionalized owners of the block, and come together to some sort of agreement, some sort of cooperative, and create their own DAO based on the decisions and the rules and the ideas that they have together for that block of land. So they have all these options before they actually, convert their deeds to land, or first they convert it to land. That's going to be the first step. So right now, land deeds, yes, they give you exactly the same rights as any other land rights will, but you do need to go to the next step, which is to convert it to land. And what happens in that step is you're actually going to be revealed a completely randomly revealed trait. That trait will indicate exactly where the location of your block is, right? So that's the next step. And the location, as you know, if you look at the map of the island, based on each area, then the location is going to be based on whether it's going to be on this side of the road, on that side of the road, waterfront, further away from the land, etc. Those are all your traits. Once you have that trait,
I think I've lost him.
I can hear you.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're back.
Good. When was it? Which part I was rattling about?
I jumped in and asked if we could do that now, and then as soon as we crossed speech, it went.
We're all good. Are we all good?
We're good.
Yeah, so there's a couple of options. One option is, of course, Discord is where the whole community is, and everyone hangs out and talks about the possibilities of when they're going to be arriving on Satoshi Island, what they're going to build with their blocks. But the real system is going to be present once you convert your deeds to land, which is going to be the next phase of the project. Those smart contracts are in development. They're not going to be too long. Once you convert them to land, you're going to get a trait, and that trait is going to represent the location block in that area. And once everyone has their locations, they'll be able to come together and create a dialogue and create some sort of cooperative and say, hey, this is what we want to do. Who else wants to do something like that? If you have, like, for example, say you have 7, if you need 3 others to come together to do some sort of rental accommodation, or maybe a timeshare They will create all that, decide via DAO, lock that in, and they'll be able to select their block once they have all those decisions in place.
Fair enough. Excited. See all the possibilities. You mentioned before about how the project had been going a while and sort of some of the old community left and some of their assets dropped in value. What were those assets? Was that land as well, or?
Oh no, I was just talking about their own personal portfolio. There's nothing to do with any of our NFTs or anything like that. Yeah, it's I think it's kind of like an unfortunate thing about our space. A lot of people jump in with a lack of education. I think it's up to all of us who've been in this space for a while to provide that education and really showcase to everybody. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a proper industry. You need to come in and you need to do your due diligence and your research about any of the projects that you want to put your money into, regardless what they are, whether they're NFT, crypto protocols, whatever they may be. And I think, this sort of shakeouts, this really bad drops, is in a way a good education for us to understand that those sort of things do happen and they will continue to happen. It is a cycle. So it's very important for you to really analyze, first of all, what sort of money are you spending? Can you afford to spend that kind of money? And secondly, what are you spending that money on? So hopefully it was a great lesson for a lot of our community, those who were particularly focused on NFT and nothing else. But I think everyone's slowly recovering and getting over the shock and coming back. I mean, we're still getting an amazing amount of interest. And, we've just announced that our citizenship NFT mint is going to happen mid-September. And that's obviously a huge event on our calendar, because that's going to be your access to the islands and it's going to be your access to the resort, Satoshi Island resort, in the time being, for the time being, whilst the city is getting developed.
And how does that work for us as a landowner and also the community, if they do want to take part? Is there a whitelist for people who own the token or own the lands or anything like that, or is it just going to be a fair launch?
It's going to be, at this stage, all citizenship NFTs have already been allocated. But what's happening is we have 21,000 of them there's going to be 21,000 of them in circulation. And as you know, we only have and only will ever have 2,100 blocks of land on the island. And that's not all. Like those 2,100 blocks of land, each block of land can probably have like a regular house, a couple of people, maybe a family of 4. But what we're noticing is that a lot of people who are obviously interested in making Satoshi Island their permanent home are buying up 2 or even 4 blocks and going to have a single house on 2 or 4 blocks of that land. So that immediately comes from, circulation of 2,100 blocks, and also reduces the amount of permanent population that can actually stay on the island. Realistically, I mean, what's going to happen is the population is going to be based on the accommodation available in general anyway. And realistically, if we sort of try to think about, or predict, if we to predict exactly what that permanent population is going to be, we're thinking it's going to be sort of around the 5,000 to 7,000 people permanently. And obviously, when events are happening, that number is going to increase. So essentially, you have 5,000 to 7,000 people that can at any one time come to the island because of the accommodation available. And you have 21,000 citizenship NFTs available, which have been given away for free in the beginning of the project. So we're very confident that as far as shortage is concerned, or even a backlog that the company is going to have based on the fact that a lot of those early community members are not going to come back, we will have plenty to go around for this new phase of the landowners that have come through that didn't have an opportunity to get a citizenship NFT. So stay tuned, mid-September. And definitely, like I said, all those who come are going to come in and not going to claim. We're going to make those citizenship NFTs available, for the new wave.
Good stuff. It's got brighter behind you. I can see definitely sun's coming out. We got a few questions from people who've commented. Some of those who aren't very familiar. I think you covered one of these already, which was, did you buy the island? And you mentioned about the 75-year lease, and the person said, do you sell the physical lands through the NFTs? Do you want to touch on how it all works? Just I know we might have covered some of it, but just for those joining a bit later on.
Yeah, of course. So the island is purchased. So it's purchased under a leasehold, and I think everyone needs to make themselves familiar about leasehold, freehold. You can find all that information on the internet. Leasehold is a very common form of ownership, just like well, that is a common form of ownership. But the new form of ownership which Satoshi Island has created is the ownership of real estate, blocks of land by NFTs. So what happens with Satoshi Island land? We divided the island into 2,100 blocks. Each block of land is then subdivided into 10 NFTs. So if you buy 10 NFTs from a specific area, you have yourself a full block of land, 360 square meters, on which you can then build a nice house utilizing the modular architecture that we have created for the island. So that's pretty much the only criteria as far as the rights to that land is concerned. You have to make sure that you're building utilizing our modular architecture that we have put together. Of course, that was put together strategically to make sure that it withstands all the tropical storms that Vanuatu has. Obviously, every now an earthquake every now and then. We've designed that to withstand all those things, not a problem, to keep our community safe. And this also allows us to maximize the time of development. A regular modern development could take you of this nature, of this size, will probably take you 10 years. With our modular architecture, not only is it sustainable and smart, and everything is going to be on solar power, and the modules themselves are going to be very much sustaining. Very cool buildings as well, very techy, perfect for our industry, right? So the speed of that is reduced dramatically because essentially they're built in the factory, put together and sent over in container ships to the island. And literally, as soon as they arrive, they're lifted off the container, put on a barge, brought to the island, lifted over there, brought to the place that is your block and installed. It's as simple as that. If your module has arrived this morning, prepare to move into it after lunch. Like it's the modular architecture is so cool. And James Law, our head architect, our master builder, is super passionate about this industry and thinks it's the way forward of how the entire society is going to be built. So again, just another something that we are sort of touching upon, being the blueprint of the future, how the future should look. So 10 NFTs gives you a full block of land. Each NFT has a legal contract bound to it, which showcases your ownership of that block of land. And it's all embedded in the IPFS and all attached to that NFT. Essentially, what we're creating here is a new form of ownership, and that is, digital asset owned, an asset, a real physical asset owned in the digital form by an NFT.
So when I bought, we have done, and it was really a question on here, which reminded me of the actual question was, can we rent the land out once purchased? But that led me to think and add on to that. Once you have the 10 NFTs and you got the land, do you have full both residential and commercial rights to that? As in, for example, do I need to apply like it was to the council to set up a shop, or can I just go there and just let you know? Well, not even let you know. Can I just start selling a fruit and veg if I want? Or do I need to?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like the council, we have areas which are for commercial use. So that's for your retail, food and beverage, your retail, your entertainment areas. And then we have residential only land as well. So if you are buying yourself a block of land in a commercial space, you would still need to apply for a license to operate a business. And the reason for that is very simple. We want to make sure that all the services that are provided on Satoshi Island are 5-star for our community. So we don't want anybody, do you have any experience in selling fruit and veg, Dom? And if you do, you'll apply to at that stage is going to be to the DAO, to the community of owners. You're going to say, hey, I've got all this great experience in selling fruit and veg. I can do a great job to the community. I want to apply for the license. And then the community are going to be, in a true democratic nature, are going to decide which businesses and who's going to be operating those businesses on the island. As far as like offices is concerned and doing Airbnb and all those things, of course, completely open to do whatever you want to do with your house.
I didn't even think of that. Dale, what happens if I come across and I go, right, I want to go weed in my block? Or I guess that's all by the laws of Vanuatu.
Exactly. So common laws, common laws are, of course, have to be followed. We are in the Vanuatu jurisdiction, so all common laws and legislations are going to be followed. But we do get an element of freedom as far as, what we build, how we build it. If we want to if we want to build a hospital on the island or another fire department on the island, all those things are completely open to us. But growing weed, I think, is not allowed yet.
No, not yet. You have to lobby to the Prime Minister a bit more for that one.
If there is enough interest, we're just going to have to lobby.
Tell you what, who do you need? I'm trying to think of an influencer. I think Chico Crypto is constantly stoned, or maybe that's just me making assumptions. Maybe but I'm sure there's going to be. In fact, actually, I remember speaking to I think one of our sandbox builders was building a weed world for a client in the sandbox. Maybe I need to hit them up. Yeah, let them know about a little opportunity that might be coming up.
There's no reason to start the lobbying early.
Definitely. Well, let's see what else we got. By the way, guys, make sure that you do ask your questions, because whenever I save it till the very end, I end up logging off just as something pops up. So what if you bought the land NFT, but you don't get the citizenship NFT? Can you build on it, or do you have to sell it?
It's very unlikely that you won't get one. Very unlikely that you won't get a citizenship NFT. And like I told you before, a company does have a reserve of them as well. We have a couple of thousand in reserve. So if you are a serious builder, of course, our focus is serious builders. We want people to come and build this city together with us. There's no point of just owning land. And if you really want to build, but you don't have a citizenship NFT, then you have to sell. No way. You'll come out, you'll reach out to us, and you'll go, hey, Satoshi Island team, I didn't manage to get a citizenship NFT for whatever reason. They may be too expensive. All of them have been grabbed by diamond hands. No one's releasing them. No problems. We'll look after you. We'll make sure that we'll provide a citizenship NFT for you if you're a serious builder and want to build yourself a house. And the same goes when, maybe you're looking to move a family into your residence on Satoshi Island, but you only have one citizenship NFT for yourself, and you have a wife, and maybe your uncle's moving in with you as well, and there's just none available. Again, we will treat those cases on their own basis, and if there is none available, we will speak to the community and come up with some sort of visitor/visa NFT, which is going to be interim until the time that you are able to get yourself a citizenship NFT. We think it's very unlikely, but there are going to be lots of options.
Fair enough. This is an important point from RZB. How is the island governing? More blocks, more power, or is it a token-based DAO or land-based DAO, or both different voting weights?
This is so the government comes from citizenship NFTs. So it's going to be a vote per citizenship NFT, which gives them a great utility, great power. Obviously, firstly, access to the island is citizenship NFT. The rights to build and do anything with your land is citizenship NFT. And of course, down the track, the governance of the entire project, of the entire Satoshi Island, is going to come through that citizenship NFT as well. You will have to lock it up to have the power of governance, to have the power to vote. As far as voting is concerned, it's going to be about how the future of the island looks like, what sort of buildings are required. For example, if it's very family oriented, then maybe we need an educational facility. Those kind of things are going to be available to vote on.
Good stuff. I'm very excited to see the way it goes, and I'm very excited to see the first of everything, like the first drunk and disorderly person who gets shoved in a cupboard as like a arrest, or all of these things that you'll get to see and remember as the first time that happened on Satoshi Island as a new human civilization. Very envious. Well, I mean, actually, there's a lot that I won't be envious of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be so interesting to see.
I completely agree. Like at this stage, because we're paving this brand new path, pioneering this brand new system, it is going to be very exciting to see how the society, the community deals with all these things, because there is no external pressures or forces that make us, like for example, if someone is drunk and disorderly, we're not going to just arrest them and throw them to jail. Maybe we'll come up with some sort of more fun system to deal with that kind of person, and we have the freedom to do that. It's going to be very exciting how we yeah, that's right. Or non-alcoholic beer for a week. There's lots of fair punishing ways for things like that.
Fair enough. Tell you what, I bet you won't get the on island community. I bet you won't get as many people coming up and knocking, going, "Why dump? Why dump?" Every time. No, they don't have
I'm telling you, the FUD is, it's so important to drown out the FUD. It's important to just stay in your path and continue to do what you're doing, whatever project that is that you're part of. The numbers are not important. The future and the mission, the looking forward is important. We're building a city. It's not going to happen overnight. But guess what? It's going to happen very, very quick. So things will turn around quickly, and the first community might be arriving shortly. Who knows? Of course, this concept of Satoshi Island Resort is exactly that. It's a little bit of a taste. Give people a little bit of a taste. Get them down here for a couple of nights. Maybe a week. It's all going to be done via STC staking. You're going to be getting your resort passes by staking your tokens. So there's another utility right there. And of course, we're going to be discussing things with landowners such as vEmpire and other projects to see if they want to send a couple of their head honchos to check out the land.
I'm Spartacus. I volunteer as tribute.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Definitely. A couple of good questions that came in. If someone's born in the island, do they automatically get a citizenship NFT, and are they automatically a Satoshiite?
I think it'll be more than that. I think for the first baby born on the island, they're gonna get, they're gonna get some sort of gold standard, maybe even a little statue, which is also going to be represented by an NFT, and maybe like a lifetime access to the island. It's going to be amazing. The possibilities are endless. So let's get down here and start procreating.
Sign me up. So one other thing, I think it would be slightly misunderstood when you mentioned that the question was, what if China raised its claim to the island? You mentioned they tried, but what if they insist? But I think what you mentioned is that they were just probably doing typical IMF World Bank stuff, where they try and lend money to a nation so that nation owes them a favor. I take it you meant that was what they were trying to do, not actually say Vanuatu was ours.
Exactly right. It's a backhanded gift. We'll build this for you and we'll build that for you. But it's actually one beautiful thing about land lease is that we're protected from all that. If, say, for whatever reason, someone does decide to, build half of Vanuatu and say, you know what, you guys owe us money, whatever, which is not happening. Vanuatu has been very strong against those gifts. but it still makes no difference that people still own the land. And our deal is with the custom owners. And the custom owners, all they're thinking about, all they're worried about is their generational wealth, their generation of their families, their kids' kids, their kids' kids' kids. That's all they want to, they're very simple people. They're beautiful, simple, honest, generous people. They don't care for the riches. They're happy that Satoshi Island will provide them and their villagers ongoing employment opportunities and ongoing, support to their future generations. Nobody can take that away from them. If they try, there's going to be an absolute war. There's going to be civil war. The people will not stand for that. The people will not lose their land. They will refuse. So we're very safe when it comes to, and that's the beauty about leasehold. You're not sort of reliant on the governing bodies. You're dealing directly with the people, directly with the owners of the original owners of the land.
Good stuff. I want to be there for the day where somebody comes up and the people of Satoshi Island have to take up arms against the invaders.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like,
well, maybe by then we'll be allowed to grow weed, so we'll just share a couple of joints with them, and I'm sure things will be sorted out very quick.
Oh, I tell you what, tell that to Biden and Xi Jinping. I can imagine. It'd be in hysterics. Actually, that'd probably knock him off. But there we are. There we go. We don't actually have any more questions. We've run out, apart from a parting comment of, I wonder if he'll be alive to see Satoshi Island compete in the World Cup. Well, technically, it would be part of Vanuatu, but maybe we'll have a player. Who knows? But yeah, thanks so much. Definitely super, super interesting. I can't wait to find out as and when all the new stuff happens and all of the stories that are going to come with it. The first person to get booted off and stuck on a plane back to wherever they came from.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much so much good stuff. You need to keep like a league table, like firsts. You need to maybe do a community competition.
Yeah, I'm sure the first bar, whoever's going to open their first bar, they're going to get a little timber board and scratch everyone's names, the Hall of Fame or Hall of Shame, if you will.
Both.
Oh, wait a minute. It's not going to be names. It's going to be a wallet address.
That lets them get away with way too much. They'll just sell it to themselves for a different one and wipe the slate clean.
Or maybe we'll do some sort of our own ENS situation. It's going to be name.Satoshi Island.
True. Do that, or do it without their permission. You get branded with a ENS type name, a nickname given to you for every embarrassing moment that you produce on the island.
And the DAO will actually purchase that ENS name for you and hold it in the treasury, so you can never ever get rid of it.
See, options endless. We are the pioneers, the degenerate. Yeah,
and we're using the power. We're using our power for all the right reasons.
That's the ticket. That's what we got to do. To be fair, we'd still be more responsible than our current world leaders, so we'll always have that.
Isn't that right? Isn't that right?
But yeah, thanks for coming on. Super interesting. Yeah, keep us updated. Please do in the chat, and we'll definitely be sharing it with the community. And as soon as we're able to get something going, and yes, definitely keep me up to date on getting some people out. And like I said, as soon as we wrap up, we get somebody asking another question. So we do have Arzabee again. He is enthralled. Does the wallet address own the land or verified wallet owner? What if I lose my wallet for any reason? I'm presuming it's
a great question.
What happens?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So the wallet address owns the land NFT, and what we have put into our smart contracts is something that's called advanced NFT security. And what that allows you to do is any transaction that happens outside of that wallet where your land NFT is, it's going to be protected by trustees. It's going to be your choice, 2 or 3 trustees. Each of those trustees is obviously going to be another wallet, whoever it is that you trust, or another one of your cold storage wallets maybe. And if someone hacks your initial wallet and tries to withdraw the Satoshi Island NFT, they won't be able to without the permission of the other wallets, almost like a 2FA situation. Furthermore, there's a thing we call beneficiary. And again, you set a certain time of period where if there is no interaction with that NFT within that wallet, say you lost the wallet or God forbid you passed away, whoever your beneficiary is, that NFT is going to be automatically transferred after a certain period of time into that beneficiary's wallet. And then if beneficiary never claims it, that NFT will get transferred to the ownership of the community, to the DAO. And if you can prove that it's yours, if you really did lose both wallets, your beneficiary wallet and your original wallet, then it's going to be handed back to you, no problems.
Fair enough. Yeah, as you were speaking then, even though you thought of a solution for it, obviously, yeah, there could have been a time where some just a hacker just turns up. It's like, this is mine now. But you got that covered.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, thanks so much.
No
for
worries.
joining. And yeah, keep us informed. Let us know when people start landing, when flights get more locations, etc. And yeah, have a good day.
We'll talk again soon.
Nice one. Thanks for joining, everybody. See you later.